Well, hello everyone, and welcome to Hogarth's Global Astrology. Know your planets, know yourself, or know your nation, know yourself. The two are interchangeable. Let me just straighten out my hat here. Oh my goodness. There, there are not enough hours in the day. There are not enough hours in the day. As you know, guys, Thursdays are a very busy day for me. I have clients on Thursdays, Tuesdays and Thursdays, but of course I do all my clients in the day, and then I do the show in the evening. And I just want to give a quick shout out. Oh, fabulous again. To Debbie, Carmen, Sue, and Kathleen. Yeah, you guys know who you are. So thank you so much as well for booking and all that stuff. And if anyone is interested in a consultation with me, then get in contact with me via my website. Yeah, so it's in the video description below. Just click there. That goes to a separate email. Don't send questions there. Just that's for like people that want a consultation, questions to answer, deep dive, want to know what's going on in their life, etc. And I'm able to get to that one much sooner. Oh God. There is so much going on. There is so much going on, isn't there? And thank you as well. I want to say thank you to all the wonderful feedback that I've had for sharing some of those clips. Do you remember those predictions that I made from archive? So previously unpublished videos from November 2023, which was, I mean, even I was kind of shook and spooked by the Biden predictions that I had. It's just, that was outrageous. And I was just like, wow. And then what I did was I released the full video later for those that wanted to see that video, which obviously are more full scale, the whole production. But that was literally, what, 8 months ago now, 8 months ago. So what's this show about today? I'm going to be taking some of your questions, as I usually do on Thursday Fry Up. But this is a little bit special because tonight we're going to look at the charts of Kamala Harris and, of course, D Vance. And we'll be having a little bit of Degrasse as well, so you can see how it all interacts. I'll do my best. I'm going to have to rip through the early questions. I'm going to maybe be able to manage about 3, 4 max, because obviously otherwise then there won't be time for the astrology and stuff like that. And I think it's very important that we look at their charts. What I've done is I've printed off their charts, but of course I'll be able to share the screen with you as well. But this was just making some quick notes about the key things going on in their lives, and you'll be quite interested to see what D Vance and Degrasse share in common, which is quite a lot. Yeah, D Vance is still dodgy though. And then of course I'll try and pull tarot on all 3 of them. So I see here you're all piling in the chat. Oh my goodness, look at this, a donation is in already. Thank you, Catherine Reuter, for your donation. That is much appreciated. Right, let's just get stuck in. Yeah, I mean, we'll see if we even have a time for a Shakespeare. So let me get my cards, which are here. Let me move my water so I don't accidentally spill it or something. And let's just dive into the first question. So this is coming from Magical Lani. She says, hi, Hoagie, what are the conservative Supreme Court justice thinking about their absolute immunity decision now that Kamala is top of the ticket and Biden still has 6 months left to take advantage? Did they miscalculate the timing? So, of course, from with the Supreme Court, like I said, absolute bunch of corrupt douchebags. Yeah, not every single one of them, of course, the nasty ones. You know who I'm talking about. And essentially, they have made the role of president. Oh, look at that! I just started shuffling. Look at that. 2 of Swords. They might be a bit worried. Yeah, they might be a bit worried. How funny. Do you see how that just split itself out? And essentially what they've turned is they've turned the presidency into essentially a kingship. Now, as you know, I've said this already. I said Joe Biden should use those powers, but you never know. He may not have to. We'll have to see how things go. But obviously, the calculus has completely changed. Now, as you know, what have I been saying ad nauseum? Repeat after me. I said 2024. I said, expect the unexpected. I said, oh, yeah, look, someone's here. All right. Okay. What? 1 second. 1 second. Hogarth, another astrologer, says she doesn't see Kamala being elected. What do you see? She said something funky will happen. Could be. Could be. We will have to see. And then there's another comment here. That was a hell of a funny slap in the face for the Supreme Court. Checkmate. Yeah. So we're going to have to see how the energies. Now, remember I said, expect the unexpected, guys, isn't it? I've been warning about this for ages. I said, Uranus is now in sidereal Taurus, which happened on the 1st of June, 2024, this year. Now, of course, in Western Tropical, they're saying Uranus is there already, but his physical body entered on the 1st of June. And I said it could be physical earthquakes, volcanoes, and we've seen that in Italy, lots of places all around the world. But I said political earthquakes. Look what we've been seeing. My God. And then, of course, what we've now got Saturn retrograde. Saturn was standing still, particularly while the debates were happening between Biden and Trump. And then the next day or the day after that, it started going retrograde. Saturn is the planet of what? Politics. Yeah, politics. And when a planet goes retrograde, what does it mean? It means review, revise, and reassess whatever that planet is about. So look all the revisions, reviews, and reassessments that we've had. Biden had to stand down because of the pressure that was being put on him from all sides. He's in his Saturn dasher, and the Saturn dasher is not known as a lucky dasher. It does deal a lot with pressure and difficulties depending on the condition of Saturn, but it's always challenging. Then, of course, we had the assassination attempt against Duc Larange. That was a major political earthquake. Review, revise, reassess as well. So he had to review and revise and reassess. Was starting to stretch ahead in the polls. Then Biden stepped down, another political earthquake. Now Kamala is there, and now she's got the momentum going forward. And now apparently the polls are evening up again. I mean, my goodness. It's just astonishing, isn't it? All right, so let's see. Do the Supreme Court justices regret their absolute immunity decision now that Kamala is top of the ticket? Did they miscalculate the timing? Let's have a look. Let's see what the cards have to say. Let's see. God, my poor exhausted laptop is just... So, Supreme Court, they regret. What's the energy that they're in? What's the energy that they're in? Interesting. All right. So let's just cover the boobies. So what do we have here? We got the Chariot, yeah? So they were rushing forward, yeah? Going at pace, great pace. They're like, let's get this in. Let's get this in. Let's try and make Duc Larange a king, yeah? Because it weren't for no Democrat, that's for sure. Yeah, they were convinced that Biden was on it, that, it was all going their way. So they were going forward with gusto and power. And of course, in the obstacle position. Now, technically, when the first card is positive, I don't consider the obstacle card reversed. So this, you can see, this was done in the benefit of the Republicans. Yeah, it was all about the family, the Republican family. We're all there together. We're all in our race car together, driving forward to this bright new future. Yeah, which of course is, Gilead on steroids. That's how they see it. Project 25 and all of that stuff. For entertainment purposes only. Anyway, however, things are a little bit sketchy for them now. Yeah, they're not really liking the options in front of them. And you can see this option here coming out of the cloud that they didn't notice. It didn't seem to occur to them, oh, if we do this, this could also potentially apply to a Democrat. Yeah, Joe Biden, but another Democrat. What if a Democrat were to get into power? Oops. Yeah. Didn't see that option there. So they're not really thought that one out. Now they're kind of like a bit stuck, yeah, because it's too late now. They've made their outrageous decision, and everyone can see what's going on. But also as well, this is what a change of perspective. So everyone else, all of America has had a change of perspective, including them as well, because they've revealed their hand, yeah. And then who did they do it for? They did it for the service of Duck L'Orange. Obviously, here we are, King of Wands. But this is also as well, it's not just Duck L'Orange, it's the business people, you know, they're paymasters. Yeah, that's who they did it for. So I would say with that Two of Swords cards that fell out, they kind of regret a little bit, but they're probably still confident that big business will help them win. Yeah, so we'll have to see if it's fully going to backfire in their face. But thanks for the question. Biden certainly could use, you know, his new souped up powers. Up to him. If I were him, I would use them. Yeah, I would use them. All right. So Nick Minks has said North Korean hackers are attempting to steal nuclear and military secrets from governments and private companies around the world. The UK, US, and South Korea have warned. Will they be successful? Well, you know what my instinct is that they've already been successful on a certain level. Oh, look at this. Look at the card that fell out. Yeah, they've been what? Wanting to tie up the world. Wanting to tie up the world. That will symbolize the reading. They want to entangle and ensnare their enemies. Let's see what else is here. So stay tuned, everyone, because we will then do Kamala's chart, D Vance's chart, and then Duck L'Orange's chart. And then I'm going to want to read cards on all of them as well. So I'm going to rip through these first 3-4 questions. So let's see. Oh, that one fell out. Let's just see here. Oh, of course. Here we go. All right. So the first card that fell out, like I said, they're trying to type everyone in knots. Oh, there's over 400 of you here. Thank you so much for joining me, folks. And please, of course, don't forget to like and subscribe, hit the bell notification, stuff like that, because I get many more views than I have subscribers. I mean, I'm not complaining. I mean, I've got quite a few, but it's like a lot of views and not that many subscribers. So if you've watched me a few times and you like this content, you want to support the channel, please consider signing up. It really does help. And you obviously like the content, otherwise no one would be watching anyway. So just consider that. Thank you. Anyway, they want to tie up the world in knots. Yeah, quite simple. Queen of Cups here in the obstacle position. So yes, it's all about the secrets, isn't it? Secrets. Now, in the positive sense, this can deal with a creative person, creative woman, etc. But you see, she's got a crucible of secrets here. So this is really about they're after the secrets of nation, intel, intelligence, all of that stuff, so they can use it to their advantage. They are working hard. Yeah, they are working hard. They wish to burden the world, make systems break down, all of this stuff. Who knows who was behind that global IT? But I know there was issues with the Microsoft and stuff like that. So that could have been incompetence or some kind of issue with Microsoft. But they certainly want to create a lot of work. Yeah, a lot of work and for their opponents, and it shows they are working hard, but maybe not the most efficiently. Yeah, let's not forget as well, North Korea, in terms of, you know, it's a complete dictatorship. The only ones who have got money are those at the top. So, you know, they're having to really graft and grind. However, if you look here, we got the Magician card that comes out. So yes, manipulation, using every trick in the book. Normally this can be a very positive card, but we're talking about hacking here. So they've got their brightest minds onto it and they're using every tool in the book that they can. And then you've got the Ace of Swords here, which is a yes card, but it's also the Sword of Truth as well. So it could show, yes, they may succeed in some of those attacks. Yeah, they may succeed. I'm not necessarily saying they're all going to succeed, but they will. So there will be more kind of outages and probably attacks on electronic infrastructure. And they've probably managed to grab a few secrets as it is already, but they're not necessarily going to put that in mainstream news. Do you know what I mean? Because they don't want to show them having a success. Let's do one more. Let's do Muskie. Let's do Muskie, and I'll quickly see if I can squeeze in the Olympics. So Nick Mink says Musk denies he will give 45 million a month to GOP campaign. Do the cards show this is accurate? Now, this is interesting, isn't it? Now, what does this show? First of all, it shows that billionaires are running everything, and they're essentially getting to shape the world in their image, because how much money they give to campaigns, they usually get the preferred candidate. Yeah, we've seen how these realities have played out just recently. But it also shows as well that a lot of these people are pretty morally ambiguous. Now, apparently, he said that the GOP is a cult and he doesn't want to support cult of personality and stuff like that. And I'm like, well, we've all known that for a while, Elon, you know, that this is a cult. I think it's more to do with the fact that, of course, Kamala is in the race, and he's not so sure Duck Larange is such a sure bet anymore. I think it's much more to do with that, because he announced it recently. If he was truly loyal to Trump and his values, etc., and all that stuff, he would have given the money anyway, because he would have wanted him to have as much money to defeat whoever he saw as the opponent. It's not like that with the Melon. I think that's one of his new nicknames. It's not like that. He's ambivalent about rulership and power. And like most of the billionaires, they want what's best for them. They want to back the winning horse. And I think in his mind, he's no longer prepared to put his money where his mouth is, because he has the intelligence, enough intelligence to see objectively who's stronger, who's weaker. So he may have decided that Duck Larange is a bit weaker with Kamala now running in the race as opposed to Biden. And it does seem to be showing that in the polls. So whatever you say about Elon, he's not stupid. Yeah, got to give him that. Oh, look at that. What fell out? The GOP card, but it actually came out reversed, actually. When it came out, it came reversed. So it's actually like that. We know that means the GOP. Let's select the other cards. I'm not doing on time. Okay. I only want to spend about 20 minutes on this, and then the rest of the show, because effectively we're looking at 3 charts plus readings, and I want us to have time to interact. Well. Look at this. All right. So the Ten of Pentacles came out. It came out reversed. Now, you know, this often deals with the GOP and political parties. So this is showing, maybe he doesn't fancy Duck Larange's chances as much as he did before, as I was saying, but this kind of proves it. Look at the obstacle card. Here it is the Empress. Now, you know, I often refer to this card as the Russia card, but I always say, what is underneath the Empress's skirts? Now, this is turned up in the obstacle position. The Empress is immensely wealthy. Yeah, it's one of the wealthiest and most bountiful cards, but it's turned up in the obstacle position. So he's not so sure how he feels about the GOP anymore. And he may not be less inclined. He may be less inclined to give the money. I think this is also talking about women as well, particularly with some of the absolute effery that has come out of D Vance's mouth, yeah, of late. So, you know, however, he's still looking around for a deal, yeah. Is this a deal with Russia? Maybe that's too simplistic to say, but look, he's a businessman at the end of the day. Deals, partnerships, yeah, getting together with someone. So, you know, he's going to be pally with whichever side he thinks has the best chance of winning. Let's put it that way. If we look here, we got the sun coming out, illumination, truth, etc., optimism, sunshine. So I think it's kind of like, either way, he wants to be the golden boy. He's the one who's making the headlines and stuff, but he also as well has got a lot to say. And there is quite a bit of truth that time. Now, we know with his X platform, there's all sorts of bilge that's on there. But he did say some very important things about the US dollar, which people should probably pay attention to, and that debt as well. You know, I was reading an article, and US dollar debt is increasing, the national debt increasing by $1 trillion every 100 days. Yeah. So, you know, he's bringing some illumination to things. And then if we look here, look, juggling. Yeah. Two of Pentacles. I think it's all about who's going to give him the preferential tax rates. Yeah. Because look, this is money here. Ten of Pentacles is about money, but it's also about legacies. He's not so sure about the GOP anymore because he wants to back the winner. He also knows women will be a big factor. He's looking to make deals. We'll give some illumination on certain subjects. But at the end of the day, he's juggling, yeah? Juggling, hustling. And he's just basically seeing who's the most likely to win, yeah? So, maybe I don't think he fully supports the ticket. I think he feels there is a woman that is stronger, and that could be Kamala or another woman. Yeah, that's my instinct. When I read that, I'm like, yeah. So quite interesting that. So yeah, maybe he, as far as I understand, I think he has retracted that, or he's reneged on that offer. But that's Elon. We know he's fickle. Yeah, he's fickle. All right, quick one about the Paris Olympics, and then I'm going to start the deep dive analysis into the charts of Kamala, D Vance, and Duck Larange. I won't do Duck Larange as deeply because I've done him a lot, but just to give a reference. All right, Nick Minks, the Olympics seem to be descending into scandal. Ooh, are they? Even before starting, with several dropping out or being removed before the event start. Will this go down in history for whistleblowing, injuries, and disruption, or will the games? Oh dear! And then it was, oh gee whiz, what was that last bit? Will the games? Scheisse! 1 minute. Un momento, per favore. It didn't print the rest of the bloody question. You get this ... thing. Let me just go. Let me just go online. Let me just go on my YouTube and just find the end of that question, because it was a bit long. It got chopped off. View channel. Community. Because I want to know what the last bit of that question was. So where is it? Wildfire Olympics seem to be being removed before it starts. Will this go down in history for whistleblowing, injuries, and disruption? Or will the games prove to be a success? There we are. Well, let's have a look. If we have successful cards, then yes. I mean, I hope they're a success because I'm going to be there in the next. I leave on the 31st of July, so I think it's next Monday. Next Monday, I'm going to be there for 5 days. I'm not the biggest fan of Paris, but you know, I'll be there with friends and stuff like that. I'll be taking the Eurostar. For us, we just take the train. All right. Paris Olympics, what's going on? Mired in scandal. Will it all go tits up, or will it be a success? I mean, certainly Macron didn't help by pulling his little stunt, did he? With that election. Almost getting the far right in. Oh, complex cards. All right, here we go. And someone else asked an Olympic question as well. Who else asked about the Olympics? KMY said, how Saturn return, or is it Pluto, I forget, going to affect the Olympics in Paris? So we can bump it together. All right, here we are. So they're not liking the options on the table. So this could be to do with the authorities or whoever. Let me just put my phone on airplane mode. The organizers, all of that stuff, the government. I think they're feeling a bit meh. Yeah, they've won it, but they're like, eh. If we look here in the obstacle position, we got the King of Wands. So again, this is men of influence and power, etc., stuff like that. Deals with passion, entrepreneurship, business. So they'll have to see how good it is going to be for business. Maybe it may not be as lucrative as they hoped, but people normally spend tons in the Olympics, so should be fine. But some businessmen or leaders aren't happy. Yeah. We look here, though, in the middle, we do have the victory card. So this would suggest that it is going to be a success on certain levels. They usually are. But look, we've got the Hanged Man here. So there is some kind of hang up, delay, and a change of perspective. Maybe Paris might be like, was it really worth it? I think this is to do with the political situation in the country, because look, the far right almost won, and basically, if they just had one round or one voting day like most countries do, literally France would be a far right country now. So I think the people are reflecting. They kind of hung up. The Olympics are there, but I have a feeling the French are a bit more like, meh, there's a lot going on. They probably don't fancy it, to be honest, particularly when we look here at the outcome card, which is an abuse of power. Could there be violence? Oh, we will have to see. But I think this is talking about the political turmoil. There could be political protests, of course. We'll have to see. Hopefully there won't be any violence, particularly because I'm going to be there next week. But it's not all at ease. So it could go down maybe as a more controversial Olympics instead. All right, let's dive in to, let me just have a bit of water. D Vance, Kamala, and a bit of Dr. Orange. All right, let's see here. What else? Let's bring you guys into this. Yeah, so there was that question. Another astrologer says she doesn't see Kamala being elected. What do you see? Said something funky will happen. Could do. Let's see here. Will Trump have to be dropped near the election day? I think you probably meant to write, wasn't it? The election day. And does this mean it will be color as a VP Republican? Will Trump have to be dropped net? But I think it means near the election day, or net, or after. That's a bit confusing. And does this mean it's be Kamala versus a Republican VP? Or maybe you're saying dropped before the election day. Oh, we'll have to see. Let's have a look. Someone's saying, oh my God, that's what I figured when I saw that. I said maybe President Biden will use the king thing. Yes, he should. Just use it, Biden. What do you have to lose? You're still president. Just psh, psh, psh. If I were him, I'd just be chopping up that. I'll be using their weapon against the Supreme Court. That's what I'd be doing. Let's see here. What does this see here? Trini Patsy. But Andre, Linda G, and Susan said that she will get elected with a big win. But November, December, watch out for Trump, but he will lose. Well, we have to see. People say a lot of things, don't they? And it doesn't necessarily mean it always comes true. Let's put it that way. I'm gonna have a look. Let's have a look. And then someone's saying Val Demings took DeJoy position. When did that happen? Love it. Biden will make them regret everything. He will roar. So that's interesting now, because DeJoy wasn't he the head of the what's it? And someone said here, you said that Duck Larange was hit by a bullet, but they are still not sure, and his ear looks like nothing hit it at all. It was grazed. Look, irrespective, I said Algol, depositions, depositions, danger. I even gave the dates. Don't you remember? I even gave the dates. I said this could affect Duck Larange, and it's going to happen from the 12th to the 18th. 13th, someone shot at him. We know he's not dead, and I know a lot of people wish that he were dead, but that would not have solved anything. And in fact, it would have made the situation a lot worse. Imagine what that would have done for Kamala Harris's campaign, etc., all of that stuff. And obviously, it was a graze. He was immensely lucky. But remember, I said K2. K2 is shooters, loners. It was all there. It was there in the astrology. Whether or not, how bad or not his ear is grazed, it's irrelevant. The point is, people shot at him. And don't forget, people are dead. You know, there weren't fake bullets. People are dead. And I think we should also respect the dead, irrespective of how they voted. Imagine if you were at a Biden open air thing and you're protecting your family and you got shot dead or maimed. You know, just, do you know what I mean? It doesn't matter in the big scheme of things. The point is, it happened, and we just, well, the Vedic astrologers in particular, we described the energy of what was happening. So if someone's giving you dates of when something happens and it actually happens, you know, I think they deserve a little bit of credit, don't they? Anyways, so whatever. So Kissy says, spot on, Hoagie. Thank you. Right, let's see. What's this? Hello Thursday for our greetings, friends. Output energy. What's this? Hello Thursday. Greetings, friends. Our output of energy, including speech, has resonances. Haley bashing Kamala. Biden also stepped down because praised of young polars. Let's see here. Oh, no, this is interesting. This is interesting. Trini saying FBI leader said all the bullets were accounted for. He was not hit by a bullet, but a glass from the reader thing. All right, fair enough. If the FBI is saying that, then that is the thing. But the whole point is he was still shot at. Remember as well, the shooter was a bad shot. This is why he couldn't get into the shooting school thing, because he was a bad shot. So he's obviously wobbling around all over the shop. But anyway, we'll have to see about that. At the end of the day, it was still an assassination attempt. Oh, here we go. Trini, it's all in capitals here. Did you hear that the meeting with the billionaires leaked out and they are backing Trump to get the tax break and do not care about America and the downfall of the poor? No, of course they don't. That's what it always is, guys. It's all about the money. Everything. Go back, even like 2020, everything. Like they say, follow the money. Never underestimate the power of greed. And remember, greed is a sickness. Yeah, it's an illness. It's a disease of the soul. Rots people's souls, and they don't give a toss about, they just want to, they'll back. That's why this is why Duck Larange is getting where he's got, why he's being held up, because they want the tax breaks. That's absolutely what it's all about. Shivani saying, burnt flag by protesters, Netanyahu's White House visit feels like the late 60s and 70s again. Yeah, which is what I was telling people, and we are in those times, and we're also in the times of the 1930s and 40s as well, so very triggering. And let's see. And then let's see here. Flower One Star says, calls those judges that are holding those court and tell them to proceed with cases before November. Oh, I'm not quite sure I understand that. Anyway, right. But thank you anyway for writing. I just don't think I quite understood what it meant. Right. If we look here, let's take a look. Yeah, let's take a look at Kamala Harris's chart. So here she is. Yeah, Kamala Harris. And if we look here, so Kamala Harris was born, from what I've been able to glean, on the 20th of October 1964 at 9:28 p.m. Oakland, California. Yeah, so she is American. One of my new friends told me the other day that one of her friends is saying, oh, Kamala wasn't born in America. All of this rubbish, this just blatant lies. It's like that birtherism thing. It's like they tried to say the same thing against Obama, didn't they? Or they say, oh, there, she's incompetent, or she's a DEI pick or whatever, always trying to besmirch, discredit, and, you know, make people less than. Debate her on her politics, yeah, debate her on her record, but don't say she's a diversity and inclusion candidate. What a pile of absolute bollocks. You know, this is a very, very intelligent and qualified woman. Yeah. Anyway, so let's look here. So let's look at Kamala. Now, what's going on? What's going on in her chart? So look, this is her chart here. This is the D1. This is the dasha sequence that she's in. Yeah, this is a dasha sequence that she's in. Now she's in quite of a wild ride dasha, which is the Rahu dasha. Now with the Rahu dasha, almost anything can happen. The Rahu dasha is unpredictable. The Rahu dasha is full of ups and downs and surprises. Now, remember, the important thing to remember always when you're looking at the chart is how does it compare of a potential leader? How does their chart compare with the chart of America? Yeah. Now, if you see here, what is Kamala Harris, according to Vedic astrology? Oh, and she's the same in Western, actually. She is a Gemini rising, but in Vedic, it's a much earlier degree. In Western tropical, she'll be about 25 degrees. In Vedic, it's 1 degree, 3 minutes. Yeah. Now, Gemini is very important because in the USA chart, there are several planets in the 7th house of the USA chart, because the USA chart is it is, you know what I'm going to do is I'm just going to share screen. This will be quicker. Let's just do presentation here so you can see the visuals as I'm talking about stuff. All right, so let's do entire screen share, because this stuff is important. Wow, there's 660 of you here. Thank you so much for joining me, everyone. And of course, please don't forget to like and subscribe. Many of you watch more than you actually subscribe, so it'd be nice to have a few more, wouldn't it? Right, now let's click up here and let's get Kamala's chart up, yeah, so we can see it. Right. Now if we look here, oh no, that's D Vance. 1 minute. Where's Kamala? There we go. Now, I don't know if you can see me. I probably should be over here somewhere floating around. Now, look, here she is. So look, you can see here, Gemini rising. Now, she's in a Rahu dasha. Do you see here? She's in Rahu Venus. Yeah, Rahu Venus. So she started her Rahu dasha on the 20th of July, 2012. So a while ago, yeah? She doesn't have that many years left. She will start her Jupiter dasha on the 20th of July, 2030. So she's still got a little ways to go. She is now in Rahu Venus, which she started on the 6th of February, 2024. So what does that mean? Yeah, what it means is we need to look to see where Rahu is and where Venus is, because her soul is in the backseat of Rahu's car, but Venus is driving the car. Yeah. So if we see here, her Venus is in Leo. Yeah, Leo. Let me just do a quick move here just so I can see myself. And let's do this. Let's move this out. And let's move this down. Yeah, let's do that like that. So I can see myself. All right. So for starters, she is in a very dynamic time. This is actually one of the most dynamic times in Kamala Harris's life. She will never have a dasha this wild and this unpredictable ever again. Yeah. Now there are several things going on in her chart at once. So like I said, she is Gemini rising, but look, she has Rahu in the first house. Now, Rahu deals with you. Well, the first house deals with what? The person. Yeah. Let me just move this up a little bit. The person, the personality, how you come across, the physical body. So she's got Rahu in the first house. What this says to me is that potentially when she was younger, she may not have been 100% secure in her identity. Now, of course, she's of mixed heritage. Yeah, she's part. I think her dad's Jamaican and her mother's Indian. Yeah, so that shows that when she was growing up, she may not have known which side of the family to identify with most. Yeah, maybe now it's more like a blend. But nonetheless, Rahu, what it means is when Rahu's in the first house in the person's chart, it means they're here to discover themselves. And it's about them. It's about self-actualization. Now, what I would say is fortunate for Kamala, although the Rahu Dasha is extremely unpredictable, it does have a resonance. She does have a resonance with the USA chart. Why? Now, remember, she's in a Rahu Dasha. So if I do file open, let's look quickly at the USA chart and we can see how she's connected with that. Because now I've not been able to see all the other predictions that people have made. And some people are saying, oh, she's going to do well or not do well. But she has to be compared to the USA chart because she's running for president. Yeah. So let's go in my thingy bob here and we'll see how they all compare. So if we go here, country, and let's just do USA Declaration of Independence chart. Now, obviously, some people will be like, well, you know, technically the thingy bob was signed in doodah this year and that year. But I use this chart. Many astrologers do, especially the Vedic astrologers. We use the Declaration of Independence chart because that was the birth of America as a concept, as a nation, ratified later. Anyway, works beautifully. Here is America's chart. Yeah. 4th of July, 1776, 6:30 p.m. Philadelphia. Here, Sagittarius rising, which means all of these planets are here in the 7th house in Gemini. Now, let's not forget, Kamala is what? Gemini rising, and she has Rahu in the 1st house. Her Rahu sits at 1 degree and 8 minutes. Her ascendant is at 1 degree, 3 minutes. So that means her Rahu is exactly on her ascendant. Rahu is the planet of fate and destiny. If we look here, you see Mars, which is sitting in the 7th house of the USA chart. Now, the 7th house, believe it or not, deals with lawyers and judges, legalities. Isn't that interesting? She's a chief justice. So this Rahu and her ascendant are pretty much exactly conjunct the Mars in the USA, in the USA's chart. What it means is because America has a Sagittarius ascendant, it means it's a Jupiter ascendant. Mars and Jupiter are friends. I don't know what the other astrologers were saying, but look, Mars and Jupiter are friends. And she's got her fate and destiny planet, Rahu, exactly on that Mars. For all Sagittarius ascendants as well, Mars rules the 5th house and the 12th house. Now, the 12th house can deal with endings, yeah? But it's endings and beginnings, yeah? The land of far, far away, etc. But it does also rule the 5th house, which is considered a lucky house. So this is actually quite an auspicious connection here for Kamala. What's also important to understand is, now if we click through here, let me just do the years. Now, if we look here, America is currently in its Rahu Dasha. Now, remember, Rahu is what? Unpredictable. Huge swings, ups and downs, all of this kind of stuff. When someone is in a Rahu Dasha, they can have a sudden rise to prominence. How long it will last is another matter, but there is such a thing as the sudden rise. Now, if we look here, you see the Rahu Dasha for America began on the 24th of September, 2015. Look at all the kra and craziness that has happened then. Rahu does deal with liars, charlatans, and all of this kind of stuff. So is it any wonder America is under this volatile energy of where anything can happen? And Duck Larange, as we know, is a, you know, I said his gift is grift, yeah? So he's very, very Rahu. But Kamala is also in her Rahu Dasha. So her Dasha sequence lines up with the Dasha sequence of America. So remember, Rahu deals with like sudden shocks and surprises, unexpected things. Rahu always brings the exotic. I always say Rahu deals with the exotic. Good-looking people as well, but he has an exotic twist to him. Kamala is exotic, and I mean that in a positive sense. She's half black, she's half Indian, part, you know, also part Jamaican as well. Grown up in California. Her husband's Caucasian. she is the stepmother to his 2 children. And look at that. This also shows that obviously she's a person of good character, because the ex-wife has defended her, speaks highly of her. How many ex-wives can actually say nice things about, you know, about the second wife? Not many, yeah? Or however many times he's been married. I don't know. I assume Kamala is his second wife. So her Dasha sequence lines up with the Dasha sequence of the United States, which is the Rahu, something unusual and unexpected, yeah, exotic. It also means her ascendant is all over these planets here. So what I'm going to do, I was going to do a file comparison. So let's do here, and then I'll move on to Vance. 1 minute. Compatibility, yeah. So here, I'll go here, open, and let's find Kamala's chart again. Where is it? Politics. Where's Kamala? Kamala Harris. Right, here we are. So the USA's planets are in blue. Kamala's planets are in green. And what we're looking for with leaders, we're looking for stickiness. We're looking for planets that fall on top of other planets or opposed. So let's look here. Now, if we look here, here is the, this is the ascendant of the United States, Sagittarius, as I said. Kamala's K2 falls very close to it. And you can see here, her ascendant, again, like I said, is right on that Mars and right in that 7th house. So it shows she does seem to have a fate and destiny with the future of America. And of course, it makes sense. She's VP and she could potentially get the top job. We'll have to see. Now, if we look here, Kamala's Saturn is very close to that of the United States' moon. Now, this is very significant because the moon represents the public. Saturn is a planet of karma. It shows she has karma with the public, some kind of destiny to fulfill. And it also shows, what this says to me is maybe the more the public get to know her, they might resonate with her more. Even though Saturn and the moon aren't friends, remember she's had unfavorable press, but that's because her light was under a bushel. She had to pay second fiddle, yeah? Now she's in the main spotlight and she's showing her warmth and character and personality. So could it be that the more the American people see Kamala, the more they may warm to her? The polls, according to the recent polls, are turning already. Obviously, Duck L'Orange is going to be in a flap, in a sweat. So we see that connection here. Let's look at the other connections. Like I said, she has got her ascendant. What is it? Rahu. God, that's all tangled up. I can't even. Let's just look. Ascendant and Rahu. Oh, it's saying LG. Sorry, Lagna. Yeah. So her ascendant, her body, and her fate and destiny are aligned with the Mars in the USA's chart. Mars also as well holds one of the highest degrees in her chart as well. Oh, I've just noticed her soul indicator planet is actually Rahu. I actually use Rahu as one of the Atmakakas. So this is saying there's a lot of destiny here. There is a lot of destiny. She does have a very strong connection with planets in the USA chart and a strong connection here with the American public. I think it's just that they've not had a chance to really see that much of her. If we look here, Jupiter and Uranus are in the same house, but we're looking for the ones that are really close. Now, if we look here, her the Saturn of the USA is close to her sun. These are both planets of government and leadership. And if we look here, her Venus, Pluto, and Uranus are very close to the Neptune in the USA chart. Now this is interesting because that can deal with dreams, yeah, dreams, even fantasies. We're going to have to see if this will congeal into a reality. But Neptune does deal with dissolving and stuff like that. So what I would say is if she does become president, you know, she's going to have to beef up her security. Yeah, because people might try dodgy things. I'm not going to let the words come out because we're not, you know, we're not there yet. A lot can happen, folks, between now and then, as we have seen. They say a week is a long time in politics. 3 days is a long time in politics. So imagine from now till November is 100 and whatever days. So still time to go. But what I would say is that I think the more the American people see her, her chances improve. That's what I would say. And she does have, remember, her Dasha sequence lines up with America. So she's in a Rahu Dasha. America is in Rahu Dasha. Rahu's in her first house in the body, exactly conjunct her ascendant and conjunct that Mars. And Rahu is also her soul indicator planet. So to me, there's a strong destiny she has here. That's going to be, that's not going to be easy to dismiss. Yeah, it's not going to be easy to dismiss. All right, let's look at JD Vance. Let's look at JD Vance's chart. In fact, let's have a little glance at the chat and see what's going on. What's this here? Manuela, China and Russia planes invaded Alaska air and met with US and Canada planes in the past days. Oh, interesting. Elon said he's not giving the money again. He said so yesterday. There we are. Someone's saying Elon's big head has been trying to have a cult of personality, but he has no personality to work with. Ouch. Let's see here. Let's also see. Oh, yeah. And so, yeah, someone's saying he's not giving. I heard with my own ears that he isn't giving Trump any money. I'm sure he sees the writing on the wall. So in a way, Elon is quite a good litmus test here. And then let's see here, and other people kind of making kind of comments and stuff like that. All right, let's now look. Let's go to JD Vance's chart. Yeah, let's see. God, how am I doing on time? Oh God, look at the time. It's gone. Oh, there's never enough time. Ah, I just feel everything is so sped up. It's so sped up. Anyway, never mind. Such is life. All right, JD Vance, what's going on with him? So just to recap on Kamala, she is in a strong fate and destiny at the moment. Her Dasha sequence lines up with the USA chart. She's got Rahu as an indicator planet. Her Rahu slap bang in the 7th house of the USA chart, exactly conjunct that Mars as well. So she does have a strong chance, guys. This isn't BS. She does stand a chance. Yeah, Trump's got a real fight on his hands. Now let's look at JD Vance. Yeah, the old snake in the grass. So now look at this. You're going to find this remarkable. So JD Vance is also a Leo rising like Duck L'Orange. With Trump's ascendant, I think is at, what is it, 6 degrees and something and loose change. And his Mars is at 5 degrees and loose change. Conjunct the star Regulus. JD Vance has the same position as well. So it means they've got the same things going on in their chart. Now, if we look here, he's in his Saturn Dasha, which of course is a lot more difficult. Joe Biden was in his Saturn Dasha, and I knew that he was going to have trouble. Yeah. Now, but it depends on the condition of that Saturn. So if we look here, so here he is. He started his Saturn Dasha on the 19th of April, 2024. Now, his Saturn is exalted. If we look over here, if we look, you see here, Saturn here in Libra, exalted in the nakshatra Swati. So he does have a strongly placed Saturn. However, his Saturn is only with malefics. His Saturn is with Pluto, and it's also with Mars. Mars and Saturn are not friends. Now, when these two are together, it says it can be like trying to drive your car with a handbrake on. Mars is acceleration, Saturn is the brakes. So it shows there's an internal conflict within him in regard to his communication. Why? 3rd house deals with writing, communication, education, teaching of all kinds. Yeah. So we all know he wrote the book Hillbilly Elegy, which went down very well, and he became the darling of the left. Started, saying all of this stuff about Dr. Orange, calling him what, America's Hitler, America's opium, and all this stuff. And lo and behold, he's changed his tune. Yeah. Why? This is a very ambitious combination. Yeah, when Saturn is strong, it will make a person very, very ambitious. And I forgot to say, Kamala Harris is just having her second Saturn return, by the way. And Saturn is the strongest planet in her chart, but hers seems to be more benefic. So here we've got this malefic. Saturn is already a malefic planet, but we've got these cruel planets around him. So this can mean harsh speech. Yeah, third house is also communication as well. He's got Mercury in the first house. Mercury is a planet of communication, writing, education, etc. So of course that makes him eloquent, and of course it makes him a good writer. However, when Mercury is in the fire signs, he becomes more bombastic. Also as well, when Mercury is in Leo, it can make a person more braggadocious. So one of the mistakes that he's making is that his verbiage is getting him already into a bit of trouble. He's obviously an over communicator as well, because he's got Mercury, planet communication, in the first house. But it's quite boastful. Yeah, so it shows he thinks quite a lot about himself. However, this is a Digbala Mercury, which means directional strength. Mercury and Jupiter both get directional strength in the first house. So he does have a lot of confidence. But it shows that his language is often bombastic and maybe a bit over the top, maybe even embellished. Yeah, maybe even embellished. Now, his mouth has been getting him into trouble, because what is he saying? He's saying, what, America is run by childless cat women. Do you remember that? Oh, my God. That's a stroke of misogyny for you, isn't it? That will not have helped him. And I was just seeing something. Apparently, Jennifer Aniston has actually spoken out against him as well. What an offensive thing to say. Yeah, what an offensive thing to say. You're trying to win over voters here. It seems to be trying to alienate as many people as possible. So there's that. So he's got these three malefics in the third house of communication. So it can mean cruel speech, or harsh or malefic speech. But at the same time, it's also giving them the ability to obviously write well as well, because his Saturn is technically strong. But he is in the Saturn dasher, which could be a bit challenging. If we look here, he'll go into his Saturn Mercury dasher on the 23rd of April 2027. That's probably going to work better. Yeah, that's probably going to work better. For now, I feel like his speech is getting him in trouble. And I don't think Duck Larange likes him very much. And he certainly doesn't like Duck Larange. Yeah, he's faking it. Yeah, it's fake. He's just doing it for the ambition. Yeah, for the ambition. But also as well, people who've got Saturn and Mars together, they never feel like they're quite doing enough. Yeah, they always feel like they need to keep going and going. This can also be a very workaholic combination. He certainly knows how to work. But this can also deal with ruthless ambition. Ruthless, especially with this Pluto here. One of the things that could happen, let's say, I hope it doesn't happen, but let's say if Trump were to become president, it wouldn't surprise me if it wouldn't take long if Trump went the same way of Ivana and was found at the bottom of the stairs. Yeah. Or he fell, or, oh, he had a stroke, you know, something put in the tea. Yeah. Honestly, I wouldn't put it past him. Ruthlessly ambitious. His moon is pretty strong, but his mum was a drug dealer. But, you know, it still shows that there is a impact. There's a strong impact there. What else did I put on in the notes? Like Dr. Larange, he has a Kala Sarpa yoga. No, he doesn't actually. He doesn't. Jupiter's broken it. Forget that. I forgot Jupiter broke it over there. I thought this was an outer planet, but it isn't. So he doesn't have that. But what he does also have in common with Jupiter is that he has Venus in the 12th house. Venus is also the lord of his 10th house and his 3rd house, just like all Leos, including Duck Larange. Now, what's interesting here, his Venus is Gandanta. Yeah, he's got mommy issues. Yeah, he's got issues with women. Gandanta basically means karmic knot, but it can be referred to as drowning. So his Venus is drowning. It's unstable. It can also, now it's sitting in the 12th house. Now Venus is said to be the only planet that picks up strength in the 12th house, but it is in the sign of Cancer, which isn't necessarily the strongest sign for Venus. It can show a person can be overly emotional as well, like sometimes their emotions are out of control, or they can even have one or two drama queens in their family. Now the positive side of the 12th house is that it's spirituality, the land of far, far away. But also, what does the 12th house deal with? It deals with endings, losses, prisons, hospitals, exile. Now, because of this position of this Venus in the Gandanta point, which happens at the last 2 degrees of a water sign going into the first 2 degrees of a fire sign. So it happens from Pisces to Aries, from Scorpio to Sagittarius, and from Cancer to Leo. So it means the wife, the Venus is what? Women. And what this says to me is potential losses that come via women. Isn't that interesting? Trump has got Venus in the 12th house as well, hemmed in by Saturn and by Pluto, 2 malefics. So we see here they both have issues with women, misogyny. And this is going to hurt Vance as more women wake up and realize. He's like, what? America's, childless cat women. That's deeply unflattering. Deeply unflattering. But what this also suggests as well, it can also suggest that the wife is not an asset. Yeah, the wife is not an asset because it's in the Gandanta point. With Trump's chart, it's not in Gandanta, if I recall, but for Vance, it is. So it's quite interesting, isn't it, with these GOP MAGA lot, his wife is American, but of Indian heritage, and they don't seem to like that. You know what it's like when it comes to brown people, black and brown people, they're not so nice, yeah? But it's literally in the Gandanta point. So they could also suggest as well there is some kind of karmic knots and issues with the wife, or there's some emotional and or psychological volatility there, because it's also in the nakshatra Aslesha. And the shadow of Aslesha can deal with mental health issues and stuff like that. I'm not saying, it doesn't mean that the wife is, going to be in an asylum or something like that, but it can speak as well of the wife being hospitalized or something like that, or something going on with the mind, because Aslesha can deal with that. But it could also show that his wife is potentially very spiritual as well. Yeah, so it's not all bad, and I don't want to be down on his wife or anything like that. But it shows potential losses from women. And the 12th house I refer to as the land of far, far away. This can also mean women that are a bit more exotic or from foreign lands. Yeah. So even though she was born in America, her parents are from India. Now, isn't this interesting? Kamala is half Indian, yeah? And her dad's Jamaican. So how will this manifest for him? Now, Duck Larange is going into Jupiter-Venus, yeah? Jupiter and Venus aren't friends, and his Jupiter-Venus dasher starts around the 29th of September, 2024. Now, do you remember I said as the summer progresses, that Venus energy is going to get stronger in his chart. And we'll have to see. Venus could potentially bring him losses. But I said there could be issues with women, the wife, etc. And then I twigged and I was like, oh my God, that could be Kamala. So, of course, she is riding up and the horses are said to be neck and neck. Losses connected with women. Vance also has this as well. So Duck Larange and Vance both have this combination. Could this be Kamala? Could this be Kamala maybe bringing them a defeat? We'll have to see. Venus also rules the 10th house and the 3rd house for all Leos. The 3rd house deals with communication. The 10th house, of course, deals with career. Now, if we look here, he's got Rahu in the 10th house, which again shows insatiable ambition. Now, in Kamala's chart, Rahu is actually going through her 10th house, showing that Rahu is wanting to pull her up to the highest post in the land. J.D. Vance, when he was born, he already had the Rahu here. So it means he was born with that ambition. It's not Rahu taking him there. He's just like, really wants it. But look, Chiron is here. Now, remember, as I always say, wherever Chiron is in the D1 will show where we've potentially received a wound in life. Could be mental, emotional, physical, spiritual, or financial. This shows that he could potentially receive a career wound or a wound in a public space. Now, for Duck L'Orange, this manifested as the assassination attempt. Yeah? He was in a public space when that Mars crossed over his midhaven. Yeah? This is also true for D Vance. Now, we know no one's taken any pot shots at him, at least not yet anyway, but it can show maybe there is a potential where a public wounding could happen, and it could be metaphorical. It could be some of the things that he's already said, because I understand that he's getting a bit of backlash, but he's not that popular with the MAGA base. So I would say here, no, he does have his Jupiter in quite a fortunate place in the 5th house, showing his intelligence. It is there with Neptune, though. It does show a connection with drink and drugs and alcohol and stuff like that. I don't necessarily know for him personally, but certainly with the mother. Yeah, we need to remember that. It can also mean that the children will be quite unusual as well, quite spiritual, but unusual. Or even creative, could be something like that. It shows that he's quite imaginative with his ideas. He's certainly got lots of ambition, lots of ideas, but I don't think he likes Trump, and I don't think Trump can trust him. If we just quickly get Duck L'Orange's chart open, and then I'm going to pull some cards. So let's go here. Oh God, I've probably gone over a little bit. Oh, doodah. What can one do? 1 second. Where's politics? Politics. Politics. Donald Trump. Here we go. So if we look here, here's Duck L'Orange. His ascendant 6 degrees 51. Actually, his Mars is at 3 degrees 40 minutes. Look, Venus in the 12th house, not Gandanta though, but flanked by malefics. Venus also deals with money as well. Look how many times Duck L'Orange has been bankrupt. Yeah, we've got Venus is also partnerships and stuff like that. We've got Elon Musk saying that he was going to give 45 million a month, and now he's not so sure, not going to do it. Yeah, according to the comments and things that I've seen on the news as well. So this is a tricky one. This is a tricky one. Some astrologers are saying that Trump will succeed because Venus is the lord of the 10th house, which deals with career, and Venus will be on Trump's moon at the time of the election. But let's not forget, this is an eclipse. This is an eclipsed moon with K2. K2 does mean losses. Venus is women. Could it be that Venus could trigger or activate so many women in America and they vote against Trump and bring and affect his career? That could happen. Kamala is showing up in both men's chart, but women in general. And as I said, you remember I've said before, guys, and it's true, I really do believe it. Venus will decide this election. The main thing is that are there enough people that are prepared to see a female president, not just a female president, a black female president, yeah, or black and Indian, you know? Are they? That's what remains to be seen. So it's a tricky one. This Venus is so important. It is so important that the transits of Venus, what she's doing near the election, she will be in Trump's 4th house, will be there on the moon. For Kamala, who is, so it'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Venus will be in her 6th house, and the 6th house does deal with battles, yeah, battles, health and healing, and all of that kind of stuff. But she is sort of like in the battle of her life as well. But I don't think she has an eclipse there. So this is really quite interesting. Also as well, the eclipses for Duck L'Orange and D Vance are happening in the 8th house and 2nd house, which can be tricky. The 2nd house is a marker house. It means death inflicting. A Rahu going through the 8th is sudden shocks and surprises. Here's Rahu right now. Here's K2 right now. We know there was an attempt made on his life. Whether it's bullet glass or not, it doesn't matter. It was an assassination attempt. The 2nd house is a marker house, death inflicting. The 8th house can inflict death. So can the 7th. Dr. Ranj and JD Vance both have Saturn transiting Saturn in their 7th house, which means that they've got a very tough opponent. 7th house is house of open enemies, litigation. They've literally got a lawyer against them, bringing what, you know, justice, etc., and all of this stuff here. Now, if we go back to Kamala's chart, where is Saturn? And then I'll do some tarot on them. Ah, yes. Now transiting Saturn is with her Saturn. She's having her 2nd Saturn return, which means she's now in her wise woman phase. Very often when women go into their 2nd Saturn return, they can increase significantly in power. It's also here with Chiron as well in the 9th house, but the 9th house is luckier. Yeah, so she's got transiting Saturn going through her 9th house, which deals with luck. And then transiting Rahu is going through her 10th house, but she really is a Rahu type person. Rahu sits in the 1st. Could Rahu do it? Could Rahu give her the top job? She's in a Rahu Dasha. So is America. It's tumultuous, guys. I think however the election goes, it's going to be wild. Yeah, there's going to be some wild roller coaster stuff. But she does have the Lord of the 9th in the 9th. So even though Saturn is a malefic, they say even a rogue smiles on his own house. The 9th house is considered the most powerful house. It deals with Dharma, destiny, good fortune. So he's coming back into her 9th house now and won't leave until the 29th of March, 29th, 30th of March, 2025. Then he'll go into a 10th house, and he adores being in the 10th house. So that deals with career. So when I look, what I'm going to say is, I'm going to say that astrologically, I feel like Kamala is coming more into her destiny and into her power. But it's not going to be easy. There will be more shocks and surprises. Someone may even try and pull a scandal out on Kamala as well, yeah, because Rahu can deal with stuff like that. But her eclipses are happening in the 4-10, and that means revelations, surprises, twists of fate. She was the vice president, but now Rahu going through her 10th could way well bring her the presidency, yeah? And it's a shock and surprise for everyone, yeah? For Dr. Ranj and for JD Vance, the eclipses are happening in their 2 and 8 houses. So JD Vance, if I go back here, yeah, same ascendant as Dr. Ranj, 8th house, 2nd house. His K2 is with the moon at the moment, so that might affect his mind and emotions and all that stuff. And K2 for Dr. Ranj is in a very tricky place, yeah? It's in the 2nd house as well. But it's a bit more dangerous for Trump, yeah? Because it's here with Neptune. And at the moment, you see here, now with the nodes of the moon, the number starts higher and goes lower. So we can see here, it's at 1435. That means in the next few weeks, his K2, transiting K2 is going to be right on his Neptune. Let's see when that happens. Now, remember, Neptune is the great dissolver. Honestly, Dr. Ranj is still in danger, you know, he's not safe. Animated transits, and, you know, anyone who's reading the charts, you know, objectively will probably reach the same conclusion. Let's see when it gets to 12 degrees and loose change. Let's see where. Ah, yes, in the next months. In September. In September, that K2 goes right back. That K2 sits in September. K2 sits right on top of Trump's Neptune, which has a dissolving quality. Unless he's, I mean, it can be spirituality as well. So unless he's going to join the circus and or join the Baptist church, yeah, I suspect it's probably going to be in a more shadow way. Snip, snip. Yeah. So let me just stop the share there, and let's just close this down. Oh, I've gone 30 minutes. I hope you guys are still with me. Let me just quickly pull some cards. There was a lot of ground to cover there. So look, it's not in the bag yet, guys. Not in the bag yet. But for me, when I look at Kamala's chart, she has a lot of fate and destiny going her way. If she gets it, it's going to be Rahu that brings it to her. She's in a Rahu Dasha, unexpected, but America is in a Rahu Dasha as well. She has Rahu in the first house, exactly conjunct her ascendant. And her ascendant and her Rahu are exactly conjunct that Mars as well in America's seventh house. Seventh house deals with lawyers, litigation, judges. She's a prosecutor. And Rahu is also her soul indicator planet. And Rahu is also going through her 10th house of career, yeah, bringing her a lift in her career. With JD Vance and Duck L'Orange, they're there. We'll have to see how it goes. But Venus could bring them losses. Women. So Venus will decide the election. Women will decide the election. So, of course, if JD Vance keeps coming out with his BS, being derogatory to Kamala and derogatory to women, not really going to bode him well. Same too for Duck L'Orange. We all know how he treats women. All right. Let's see the cards for Vance. Oh God, I might end up going till half past, but you know, so much is happening with all. JD Vance. What's the energies with JD Vance? JD Vance, JD Vance. Well, look at this. JD Vance. Here he is. He's on the attack. Yeah, he's on the attack. He's on the, oh God, there's 687 of you in the room right now. Thank you. Thanks so much, guys. Please don't forget, of course, to like and subscribe. Anyway, JD Vance, here he is charging on the attack, talking, you know, talking trash. Yeah, talking trash. In the obstacle position, he has the Chariot card, yeah, which is about moving forward with speed, advancing, etc., and stuff like that. One could say, yeah, maybe he's not doing so great. Certainly the base, they don't really like him that much. I think they find him a bit smarmy and a bit up himself, yeah? Oh, what's this? Oh, my goodness. Sorry, thank you for the donations. Thank you, Christopher. And thank you, Fizzlers. Thanks for all your hard work, Hargo. Much appreciated. Thank you. You're much appreciated as well. We look here. Look who's in the middle. Yeah, it's the hostess with the mostess. It is the nine. It is the Nine of Pentacles. This, of course, deals with wealth, money, etc. But let's not forget, this can also be the courtesan's card. Someone who's bought for hire. He's been bought by the billionaires. Yeah. He is the protege of Peter Thiel. Let's not forget that, yeah? And they put money in the pockets, and that's what it's all about. You know, the melon was going to go there for a while, but he pulled out. But he's in it for the money and the influence. However, look at his outcome cards. Oh, Three of Swords, yeah? So there's a bit of unhappiness there. There's a flight in the ointment. I don't think it's going to quite turn out as he would expect. He wasn't really Duck L'Orange's pick. He wasn't. I'm sorry, he wasn't. I think we all know that, yeah? And then, looking forward, oh dear, look at that, yeah? He's not sure which way to turn, what decision to make. I think what is as well, as more and more comes out about him with all the negative stuff that he said about Duck L'Orange, this can also be the base being like, not really sure about you. So it looks a bit awkward for Vance. Let's see how it goes, but it's not like, I don't think, I mean, can Trump sack? Can he sack JD Vance now that he's confirmed as the nominee? Can he actually do that? I think Trump wants to get rid of him. If Trump had any sense, he would get rid of him, yeah? Because he's just aggressive. He's just in it. It's just his own ruthless ambition, yeah? He's in it for the power and the money, yeah? He's been bought. But there's heartache there as well for him, and not being sure which way to turn in the future. So I don't trust Vance anyway. I think he's, no. You can't call Trump America's Hitler and then go and kiss his behind. Really? Nah. Untrustworthy. It's a turncoat. He's been bought. He's for sale. All right. let's take a look at Duck Orange. What's going on with Duck Orange? How's he feeling right now about Kamala? Oh my God. What times in politics? All right, Duck Orange. Thanks for staying with me, guys. I know it's a bit of a longer video again, but there was a lot to cover. Let's do a Shakespeare as well on. I just want to do a Shakespeare again on J.D. Vance. What does Shakespeare think about J.D. Vance? Bring him down here. Yeah, look at that. His treasons will sit blushing in his face, Richard II. And then from Hamlet, one may smile and be a villain. You see, he's a villain, not to be trusted. And I know Duck Orange knows it as well. Yeah. Oh, look at, oh, dear. Oh. Very interesting cards for Duck Orange. Look at this. Gets the death card. Bloody hell. What was I saying? You remember I was saying? I said he's in danger. Now, we already know that someone's obviously tried to take him out, but that danger has not passed yet, clearly. Now, the death card doesn't always mean literal death, but we know someone has made an attempt on his life. So I think this is more literal. So he is not out the danger zone yet. Yeah, not by a long shot. If we look here, he gets another major arcana, and look, the Chariot is back out again, but it is in the obstacle position. So this is like the engine getting stalled. Something has stalled. He's had a near-death experience, and he's having to transform and reevaluate, and the engine is stalling at the same time. Could this be Kamala? If we look here, though, in the middle, he's got the Hierophant, government, but religiosity as well, dogma, etc., this kind of stuff. So he's going to rely on the evangelicals, yeah, and the church and all of that kind of stuff to get him through. The judges, these are the justices, of course. These are the justices that he's relying on. Like I said before, he's done a deal with them. They have a pact together, yeah. However, look at his outcome card. Ooh, yeah, 6 of Swords, moving to smoother waters, maybe exiting stage left. So much can happen, guys. And remember what I've always said. I said when it really hits the fan, I still believe Duck Orange is going to leave. It's either, like I said, like Venus could either bring him a health condition. Once it's the 12th house, it activated. You know, maybe he has a stroke or something like that, or he's already been to hospital, obviously, for the ear. There's been the assassination attempt, so that's already manifested. It can mean endings, or maybe he tries to get away, or does Venus give him a get out of jail free card? I think that's already come via Judge Cannon. I think this, let's see how it goes. But remember, women are key. Exiting, moving to smoother waters. We'll have to see. We will have to see. It's not all set. Now let's look at Kamala's cards. And then I really will have to call it a day because I'm way over. But I was never going to get all that content done, was I, in an hour? Thank you so much for joining me, by the way. Over 700 of you here now. Thank you. Mwah! Big love. Kamala. Did you see that? She got a jumper. Oh, hard work. Yeah, she's got... It's not going to be as easy. And I know everyone's optimistic, but it's not going to be easy. There's a lot of misogynoir out there, as we say in the UK. Misogynoir is misogyny, but that's directed to black women and women of color in general. So you see that card fell out. So that's spirit giving a little, you know. Let's see what the rest of her cards are. Kamala, how are things for her? If we see like the victory card, that would be nice, wouldn't it? That would imply something like that. But if her cards are more difficult, then it could be more difficult. Let's have a look. Oh, all right. If we look here, She's going to really have to fight and defend herself. Yeah, she's going to have to fight and defend herself. So it is going to be hard work. Yeah, it's going to be hard work. She's going to have to graft. She's going to have to put in effort. She's going to have to find a way to be more efficient. But there's also that fighting as well. Yeah, it's the fighting as well. Let's just interpret it as it is. However, if we look here, Major Arcana, we have the Fool card. Now, we know she's not stupid. This is about a leap of faith, taking its bravery. This is also talking about the American populace. It's going to require a leap of faith. Kamala and everyone together, something completely brand new. Look at this. She gets the Sun card, very positive card, showing illumination, sunshine, and this can also be a victory as well. So, you know, her cards are looking good. And then if we look here, look what she gets. She gets the Justice. Is that Justice? Yeah, Justice card. She is a justice. She is a lawyer. Is it the case? Does Kamala get there? And then she becomes like prosecutor extraordinaire. We have to see, but let's just say this part of the reading, it's hard work. Yeah, she's got to keep fighting, but a leap of faith could lead to something very positive and justice as an outcome. So I will leave it there. Thank you everyone for joining me. I hope you found that interesting. I don't want this to bang on for too long. Thank you to everyone who donated as well and everything like that. It is much appreciated. Over 700 of you join me live, which is remarkable. You know, it's brilliant for a Thursday fry up. Food for thought, guys. I hope you found those charts interesting. But I would say at the moment, the fate and destiny seems to be supporting Kamala. But we have to see what Venus brings, particularly in Duck Larange's Dasha, which starts at the back end of September. Jupiter, Venus, that will show us if it's going to give him a boost or if it's going to be women that really do take him and D Vance down. So I will leave it there. Thank you so much. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. And of course, you will see me again on Hogely. And thank you to everyone who's with all the positive comments that you guys have given me of late and the support of the channel. Mwah! Big love. Got to go now. And I've got to get some sleep. All right. Bye-bye for now.